But yeah, I'm excited about that. And that kind of brings me into the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is, I know for a fact that you play Street Fighter 4, and I personally play a lot of different fighting games, and I've tried several different fighting games. And as far as competitively at a high level, I've played multiple Soul Caliburs, and I've played multiple Tekkens. And I think the thing I want to talk about is the importance of playing as many different fighting games as you possibly can, because what will happen very often is you'll be playing, let's say you love Tekken, right? And you'll be playing Tekken, and maybe you're getting better, and you're climbing in the ranks. And you reach a point where you kind of plateau. Like, you feel like, okay, I know a lot about my character, I know a lot about the other characters, but I just feel like I'm not getting any better. A really good way to kind of break through that shell and get even further is by putting that game either on the side or maybe taking a break for a bit and trying another game or even another character out. But typically another game really helps. And the reason for that is I kind of see it as...
Well, especially if you also ran out of characters to play too. So.
Yeah, that is the case. But, just because a character maybe seems limited, like in my case, for example, I play Dragunov in Tekken 6, right? And he has a very limited move list. I mean, he's got a really short move list, and you can easily find that, okay, I feel like I've reached this point where there's nothing else to learn about this character. But you couldn't be further from the truth. There is a lot to learn that is
it's
not...
like Ryu says in his intro quote, man, the answer lies in the heart of battle, man. You just
You're
gotta find...
homo, dude. A queer.
Just gotta find the answers, man.
I don't take philosophical advice from Ryu. No thanks. Fuck that guy. Anyway. No, but, seriously, all joking aside, I mean, what a really good idea is, and this is kind of compared to, let's say, Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant is a pro basketball player, and he's one of the best in the world. And I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of his or anything. I'm just making an example. Now, I guarantee you that Kobe Bryant studies college basketball, studies NBA basketball, studies WNBA basketball, even though it's fucking pathetic, and he studies all different types of basketball. Now, it doesn't matter if the rules are different in college, if the rules are different in WNBA, whatever, they're all still playing basketball. Now, in this context, we're talking about fighting games. So, it doesn't matter if the rules are... We're all playing fighting games. The rules in Street Fighter may be a little bit different. It's on a 2D plane,
mechanics are a little different.
Yeah, exactly. But they're all fighting games, and the same core mechanics still apply. Mind games, spacing in Tekken is just footsies in Street Fighter. Link combos is the same as juggle combos. I mean, the corner in Street Fighter is the same as the wall in Tekken. I mean, it's not obviously exactly the same, but the concepts are similar.
Yeah,
and
the way you apply like mix-ups and stuff like that might be different, but the mind game, the mentality that goes to it is still the same. So.
Yes, and many of the strategies as well. In fact, some of the most inspirational things that have really moved me as a fighting game player have been coming out of the mouths of Capcom players. For example, there are videos from Jeff Schaefer on YouTube talking about back in the day.
Oh, yeah, the history, like the 8-part video or something.
Exactly. That was very inspirational for me, watching that. Another thing is speaking to Mr. James Chan. That guy is very inspirational, and you really can learn a lot from that guy. Alex Valle, Combo Fiend. I mean, Clockwork. Washed up motherfuckers like Clockwork. I'm telling you, there are so many players out there that are not Tekken players, but just sitting down with these guys and just having a conversation with them about the fighting game of whatever, their choice, your choice, it doesn't matter. Just talking to them, it will be just so moving. And talking to these people, it really makes you feel like, okay, this sounds really cool and interesting. Let me try this game out. Let me try out Marvel. Let me try out whatever. And playing that game will really open your eyes and explode all your ideas so that you can take, let's say in my case, Dragunov, way further than if you hadn't done that in the first place. I mean, it's really important. I know, Mike, like I said, you play Street Fighter 4, and you name it, the greatest players out there, they usually play multiple games. For example, Bronson Tran, I know he played Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He was a very good Marvel player. Not to mention multiple different other games, I'm sure. Mr. Naps, that guy is an excellent...
A.K.A. Emphy for the 2D
right.
guy.
He has a Capcom handle. Yeah, so plays a very good Urian in Third Strike. He also plays Sea Viper in Street Fighter 4. I mean, you name it. And later on I'm going to have JLP on, and I know that he plays Street Fighter 4 also. And we're going to talk about the importance of the transition and all that other stuff. So it's really important. I mean, the moral of the story here is that even though you may hit that plateau and you may be frustrated and you don't know what you can do to get better with your character,
sometimes just taking a break with another game could be the answer.
It really will help. It'll make you understand. It'll also teach you discipline. Discipline is so important because in Tekken, you may have many moves that are really good and you can abuse them, right? But sometimes it's a good idea to just not push any buttons and just wait. And if there's a fucking game that teaches you to not push any buttons, it's Street Fighter fucking 4. I mean, in that game, it's like you can't even jump or you're toast. You have to just really be really patient and have discipline. I play Honda in Street Fighter 4. Oh my god. You want to do that headbutt so bad. I mean, you want to do that headbutt so fucking bad. Every time you do it, though, your ass eats a punish. I mean, it's just like, you have to have discipline. And playing, like in Third Strike, I play Third Strike a lot as well, and a lot of the time I'll just play Hugo. And Hugo in that game, I mean, you have to wait, like, all day for that opening. You have to wait and be patient and don't whiff, and it's coming, and then boom, it comes. And then it's over, you know? Gigas Breaker, it's over, you're in the air. And, I'm telling you, games like that, and there's many games out there that I don't really have too much experience in, but there are so many games out there, and they all have mechanics and mind games and strategies that you can apply to your favorite game, in my case, Tekken. And so I would highly recommend that anyone who is out there who maybe is just a hater of Street Fighter or a hater of whatever Blaze Blue or whatever the fuck's out there, even if you hate that shit, give it a shot. I mean, all you really need is competition.
And there's no reason to really hate other fighting games, especially if you haven't even played it before.
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of people out there that are just like, oh, like Street Fighter fans are always like, oh, fuck Tekken. Or Tekken fans that are like, fuck Street Fighter. And yeah, in passing, I'll say that shit all day too, yo, fuck Virtua Fighter. Fuck fucking Soul Calibur 4. Especially Smash Brothers. That game, fuck Smash Brothers, but all joking aside, I mean, it is really a smart idea to study all these games. Because, I mean, it can't hurt. You just learn about these games, it'll improve your Tekken game, or whatever game you play, it'll improve your game. You have to expand your horizons, and just study all different games. Currently, right now, I've only played Super Street Fighter 4 like 2 times, literally. I own the game, but I never played it, and I still study it all the time. I watch
not a bad game, man.
I watch as many streams as I can, and I really like to study the game and know about what's going on and what's happening and what mind games are occurring. I would love to play that game. I just don't have the time to put in it right now. I mean, right now I currently play Third Strike just for fun. When I'm feeling like I need to try another game out, I play Third Strike. And other than that, I play Tekken 6. But look at what's around the corner. We have all these fucking games coming out so soon. This is like...
Dude, I was just thinking about, like, EVO 2012. It's like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I was just talking to James Chen about that. What the fuck are they going to do? They're going to have to take out, like... I mean, they're going to have a Tekken. Are they going to remove HDR? I mean, they might. Who knows?
Have to.
Yeah, because, they've never had a Blaze Blue at EVO yet. If Blaze Blue ends up at EVO, then and Mortal Kombat turns out good, Marvel 3 turns out good, they have Street Fighter 4, I mean... And
Street Fighter vs. Tekken, and Tekken vs. Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, what's gonna happen? We don't even know what's gonna happen. So, the point is that this is like, the future of fighting games is just amazing. And there's so much to play. So just, if you have a little bit of extra time, try them all out. it'll help you. And this message goes out to anyone who plays any fighting game, because I happen to know that a lot of people that don't play Tekken listen to this podcast. And, you know, whether it's Tekken that you're trying out, whether it's Virtua Fighter or whatever game there is, just try it out with an open mind, and just, as long as you have competition, you're going to have fun. Just fucking play people, you know? Unless it's Smash Brothers. Don't try out Smash Brothers. That game sucks.
Okay, I would like to elaborate a little bit on what it means to, like, play other fighting games.
Okay.
Because, I play every character in, like, every fighting game I play. I try to play every character.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea.
So I've been doing that in Street Fighter, but I main Ryu, and, one of the main things that I like about Ryu over, like, every other character is just his sweep. Because you could combo his sweep after, like, crouching jab or crouching strong or whatever's. Mm-hmm. And then the options you have after that, you could kind of tell what your opponent's going to do. I mean, you could have a brilliant guess, and then you could kind of see what your opponent's going to do. Like, for example, like, let's say you knock down Bison, right? And I'm Ryu. I do a sweep. I knock him down with a sweep. I jump in with a safe jump roundhouse. Mm-hmm. And I could option select a couple options. Like, if he does, like, let's say this player likes to always escape. You know, no matter what, he likes to escape with a move. Mm-hmm. He's gonna do, like, EX Psycho Crusher out, right? So I would jump in with a safe jump roundhouse and then buffer Shoryuken.
Yeah.
If I do that, if he does the EX Psycho Crusher out, my Shoryuken will either clip him, or I'm gonna completely jump over him with the Shoryuken, and then his EX Psycho Crusher will go out, and I take no damage, or I take some damage on him. Mm-hmm. That's one option. Another option, if he teleports back, I could, buffer in Tatsu, and then catch his backdash, and then stuff like that. Or his teleport will cover both of those. So it's like, okay, how can I apply that to Tekken? Okay, this guy finally knows that I could option select these two things, so now he's finally going to block. So now I throw him, or, now I go for his crouching throw text, and catch him with a crouching strong for a counter hit setup.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I apply that to Tekken? And it's like, okay, after this guy tech rolls off the wall, he always likes to duck. So I do a safe, like, wall sliding mid move.
That hits both way tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like the exact same thing. It's just that you just kind of have to put in the time in, like, the new game you're playing to find out all your options to cover, certain situations. And then you apply that to your, next game or your current game.
That is definitely true. The thing that you were just talking about with the safe jump in option select, that is an application of a strategy that I've heard you talk about in the past. And what that strategy is doing one thing that will cover as many options, defensive options, as possible. So in the Tekken realm, let's say you hit them to the ground and they have the opportunity to tech roll or back roll or stay down, right? The best possibility would be to do a move that hits on the ground that will also at least have them block it if they tech roll either way, and it will also beat their back roll.
Yeah, I mean, there's an interesting Oki situation I could explain with Leo that I found. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen any other Leo player use this, but it does sacrifice, like, 7 points of damage, but you are, like, if you guessed right, you get a whole nother launcher again, so it's pretty good.
Okay.
So, after you bind with Leo, and then you do forward, forward, 4, it looks kind of like Lay's forward, forward, 3. That upper kick move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll send in spinning. If I do a crouch dash while standing 2, it'll track both tech rolls, it'll hit grounded, and it'll catch back rolls. And if it back roll, I get a full launch.
Yeah. That is exactly the same type of thing.
So it's like, it's just covering options, basically, and it's just knowing the situations to cover.
Yeah, exactly. That is definitely true. Another scenario is with Dragunov. If you hit up forward 4 and you do the standard combo of down 4-1-3 and then you dash in deep enough, if you do down 3 for Okazemi, it's going to hit a downed opponent, it's going to catch a back roll, and if they tech roll, they have to block low. They can't even low parry it. So, I mean, it's just one option that beats many defensive options. And what you were talking about with Ryu, I mean, it's completely different if you just look at it that way. But all you gotta do is use a little bit of your fucking brain, and you can really correlate it to Tekken or whatever game you play. And this kind of stuff is exactly what I'm talking about. You can
And it's
really
throughout like all fighting games.
Yes.
So you just have to look at like the situation and say, oh, this covers more than one option. How can I apply this to another game?
Exactly. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the point we wanted to prove here. And so, moral of the story: try out many fighting games, as many as you can. You don't have to become world champion in any of them. Just try them out. You know, go to your local arcade or go to a gathering or whatever, and you know it'll really help you out. I mean that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. You got anything else?
Study.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Mad Dog.
Study.
So yeah, study.